Welcome to another How Do I Do This Kick video by Darebee. I'm David, your host, and today I'm going to show you how to do at home a double turning kick or a double roundhouse kick. Some martial arts styles call it roundhouse, like karate. In Taekwondo it's called turning kick. It really doesn't matter, it's the same thing. I'm going to take you through all the different stages of it. I'm going to break it down, so if you've never done it before, you'll be able to do it, which is my goal here. If you are already in a martial arts club and you haven't done anything like this before, or if you have and you're struggling with it, this will definitely help you, because I'm going to tell you a lot of the things which you need to know and which many martial arts instructors simply haven't got the time to cover in detail in a class environment. All right, I'm going to start with the absolute basics by addressing a few questions. Question number one, you can see I'm barefoot. Shoes or no shoes? Well, if you're at home, you don't need shoes, obviously. If you're in a martial arts class, again, you mostly do this barefoot. If you're outside and you wear shoes, it doesn't matter. Warm up or no warm up, definitely warm up. Your body will need to be warmed up in order to do this complex type of movement. You can do it without a warm up and do it slowly, and it's safe, but the chances are, because you're not warmed up, you won't be able to pull it off, then you get discouraged, you get demotivated, and you stop doing it because you think you can't, and nothing could be further from the truth. In the YouTube resource box, I will link to a martial arts warm-up you can do, if you're not sure what to do. I will also link to some kick guides which you can look at. If you're new to this, they will help you. Even if you're not new to this, a refresher always helps. I will also link to some I will also link to some single kick videos, which will help you understand some of the basics, which I'm going to go over again today. And apologize in advance for the basics, but they're necessary because they're the same for every kick and we need to know them. All right, the other thing which I'm going to cover is how do we kick? Do we use the instep or do we use the ball of the foot? You can use either, certainly. In a double turning kick situation, the instep is easier. In any kind of execution of this kick, the instep is easier. In a sparring context within a martial arts training environment, you may have to make a choice between instep and ball of the foot, depending on target availability. It's not going to come up here, so we're going to use the instep. But I'm addressing it because as a question it has come up before when I demonstrate kicks. The other thing is, do you need a target? No, you don't. I'm using a 90-pound bag here, which is a 45-kilogram one. It's fairly light. I'm using it to demonstrate, so you can better understand what I'm telling you. You don't actually need one, so you can do it without a bag, without a target at home. Okay, the other thing is it for everybody? What if you're absolutely new to this? Well, usually as an answer to that question, I say that we all start from the exact same level, which is 0. And through persistence, perseverance, and understanding, we become better at it. I'm no exception to this. So essentially, I start from 0, I did this, and that's how we work it. All right, so one final question, if we're doing, or rather two final questions, two questions. If we're doing double kicks, same level, or do we vary the levels? You can see I can go, for example, low, high, or I can go to mid-level kicks. Which ones we do? Well, obviously, from a difficulty point of view, we're going to keep the kicks exactly the same. So we're going to be kicking to the same level. We can vary the levels, as I've just shown you, but it adds an additional level of difficulty. And I think this is something which we need to cover a different time. So for now, we're going to have both of these kicks to the same level. Final question, lead leg or back leg? Well, from an execution point of view, it really doesn't matter. From a difficulty point of view, it does. So I will say the easier one to do is the front leg, if you're a lead leg. So if you're kicking with your lead leg like this, that's a lot easier. You know, switch legs, you go this way, and apologize for turning my back to you, but there you go, there's the other one. All right, so, but if we use the back leg, again, we can do it. It's a little bit harder. From here, you're gonna go like this. Or if I switch from there, boom, boom, like that. I'm going to show you a little bit of the mechanics, the biomechanics of the back leg kick a little bit later in the video. But for most of the video, I'm going to focus on the lead leg because it's easier. So we need to start with the easy stuff first. Okay, so we covered pretty much most of the questions. Here's how we're going to start the basics. Every martial art kick, with some tiny exceptions, starts in exactly the same way. It starts with the leg forming more or less a 90-degree angle, with your knee up about waist height, and you're like this. And from there, all we're going to do basically is reposition ourselves in order to be able to kick at the target. Every martial arts kick is essentially a mass transfer exercise, and the power of it depends exactly on how quickly I move that mass. So if I was to, for example, to kick the back leg, essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking this mass, which is my back leg, all that weight, and I'm moving it to the front towards the target. If I was to do it slowly, like this, I go whoa, 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 boom, there. There's no power. But if I was to do it quickly, there's a double turning kick with a back leg, and it's pretty hard. Okay, the bag moved quite a bit. It will move because it's not that heavy, but also it isn't that light either. All right, so what do we need to know? If it's a mass transfer exercise, we need to have good balance, and balance basically is maintained by the standing leg. If I'm using my lead leg to kick with, I get into a chamber position. So my standing leg now needs strong calves, relatively strong quads, strong glutes, and I need a strong core. The other thing which is important is how I position my arms, because if they're not positioned correctly, they're going to unbalance me, and then it doesn't matter how strong my standing leg is, I'm going to lose my balance. So my arms, basically, the arm which is on the same side as the standing leg goes to the chest, the arm which is the same side as the kicking leg points to the target. So I'm like this. If I'm like this, as you can see, I can pretty much maintain my balance here for as long as I want, and I can do as many kicks as I want. I'm not touching the target right now, but you can see I'm basically performing all these kicks slowly, and it's relatively easy to do. Okay, so let's get down to it and see how we actually do it. Now, once we're in a chamber position, from here, we're like this. In order to execute the kick, all we need to do is transfer or switch the direction of our standing foot a little bit. So from here, I'm going to just switch it a little bit, just a little bit away from the target, bring my hip this way, so it's aligned, and now I can perfectly execute this kick as many times as I want. You can practice all these components before you actually kick. You must do them slowly, so you get a feel for them. You realize how many parts of your body actually come into play. Because we're moving mass, essentially this is a resistance exercise with pretty much everything it implies, except hypertrophy. It makes you stronger, it makes you more durable, it makes you fitter. It will not give you bigger muscles, but it will give you everything else. And you've got to remember that strength itself is basically a skill as opposed to an attribute. Sure, within individual muscles, if we take them out of the muscle fiber, out of the muscle bundle, individual muscle fibers in the lab, we can stretch them, check and test their tensile strength, and we can see how strong they are. And then that's an attribute. But as a whole in our body, strength is a skill. We need to develop it. And what I just showed you now is how you develop it. So essentially all these modalities come together, they coordinate, align, and give you the strength that you need. So from here, let's see it slowly first. Lead leg comes up, I'm pointing at the target. From there, I switch a little bit, I kick once, I kick a second time, and I put it down. So let's go again, like this. And let's go one more time from here, like that. Now, one of the things which you'll notice is that I don't bring my foot all the way back. That's intentional. I could do, but it does two things. And those two things will not really help you, in the beginning at least. The first thing is it slows everything down, so the kicks themselves become slow. And if you do a double kick, the whole idea is that actually it's fast and it looks spectacular. So there's no point in going boom, boom, half an hour later. So what you want to do is to be able to go like that. Now, the second thing which it does, of course, is by bringing my foot all the way back, I unbalance myself a little bit because the muscle momentum, the mass momentum comes back. I have to readjust my balance. It's definitely doable, but it's an extra element of difficulty which you don't necessarily need right now. So from here, so when you kick, when you bring your leg back, bring a maximum halfway back or a third of the way back, and then send it out again. So if I was to do it slowly to show you, here it is, I kick, bring it back, it's about halfway back, and out it goes again. Done quickly, it looks like this, and you can see I only brought about a third of the way back. If I change, I have my back to you, I'm sorry, but I'm going to show you my leg and the kick on the other side. From there, I'm going to go like that. So basically done slowly, I kick there and kick again. So these are all the different components which make this feasible, all the tricks of the trade, if we were to call them that. What happens if you want to do the same kick with a back leg? Well, remember it's mass transfer. In a martial arts environment, in a martial arts club environment, they will tell you need to do this, take it all the way around, bring it, boom, boom, and then bring it back. Martial arts purists, sure, will agree this is the way to do it. But if you want to do it quickly, this massive transfer of mass only makes it harder. It makes it slow, and it challenges your balance more than it should. So if I was to do it, this is how I would do it. From here, my back foot goes past my front one. The moment it's in front of it, comes up. It's now in a chamber position. I switch a little bit on my standing leg. My arm is here, the other one is there. Boom, boom, and down. And if I was to do it fast, this is what it looks like. There. The advantage of doing it this way is that you maintain your balance under extremely good control of your own all the way through the motion. Whereas if you bring it round like this, you're relying a little bit on momentum to get you there. And if just a little bit you become unbalanced, you can lose your balance and you feel terrible, you think you're no good. And it's just physics, basically. So, you know, that's all it is. Is there anything else to tell you about this? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've covered pretty much everything. What I really want you to do is do it at home, and if possible, film it and put it up on YouTube and tag me. I know this is a massive ask. I know when we start out on these things, we all feel very self-conscious. We feel that we are not very good. We feel that everyone's laughing at us. We feel inept in our minds and in our bodies. Nothing could be further from the truth. We all start from ground zero. We need to build it up. If you show me, I think that's incredibly brave. Just in itself, that bravery, mentally, will lead you to very, very good results eventually in your body. And this is what I want you to take away from this. Essentially, mind and body are connected. This is an amazing exercise to do because it gives you so many physical benefits in all these different modalities. But really, it's amazing because it frees you in your mind. We know from scientific studies that because our brain has to model the body in 3D space as we execute these things, it actually activates a lot of neural centers in our brain, and it gives us a couple of IQ points in terms of processing capability. So it makes us smarter because we use kicks, which is pretty spectacular, really, when you come to think about it. All right, thank you very much for watching this. Let me know in the comments if you want me to cover anything else. Let me know how helpful you found this. Let me know also in terms of anything which you think I could show better or clarify. I will respond personally to most of the comments. If it's not me, the person who covers the YouTube comments is also knowledgeable in martial arts. They'll be able to basically answer your questions or guide you if you need something. If you do film it and put it up on YouTube, please tag me. I'd love to see it. I love you guys. I know it's not easy. I know all the things that you're trying to overcome in your head. Because I've had to overcome the same obstacles. I started the same way. I started out thinking, I can't do kicks, it's incredibly difficult to do. I'll never be able to double kick, never mind, more than one and change the height. And then here I am, right? Because I basically pushed it and persevered. I asked countless instructors all sorts of questions, becoming a pain in their butt, and they were kind enough to answer me as I was learning. And then I broke it down, for myself at home by doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And here we are. Okay, I make it look easy. I know it isn't. I'd love to see it if you actually try it out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Thank you very much for watching this. Take care.